Just waiting on the call from Dave Foxcroft.
Procedure, Hamilton, number 66. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
So for June Jones, Alex Green in that backfield. There's the guilty party. Alex Green, who actually grew up 5 minutes away from June Jones' house in Portland, Oregon. Never played for June in Hawaii. Of course, June Jones became a legend at the University of Hawaii, and then Green went to the National Football League as a third-round pick.
How about that game against New Mexico State? 19 for 327.
It's an average night. There's Chambers again with his third catch as a Cat gets to the first down marker.
All these guys have big numbers in college one time or another, and you go back to their high schools, and they were both way players. A lot of guys that get to this level, and you know, Alex Green is one of those guys. Now the question is, he's got to make that transition. He's had time with Green Bay. He knows the pro game. He is a pro. He understands how to study and prepare, but he's got to be able to be solid on protection, and when he gets the rock, take it and do something with it. He knows that part. Now, can he block for Jeremiah Masoli?
Bad tonight so far for a guy who's been out of the game for a couple of years. Masoli has time and slinging and almost picked off by Anthony Thompson. Penalty flag flies, though. Luke Tasker was the intended target. Looks like it might be interference against the Lions.
Not sure how.
Flag flew a little late.
Not sure how it could be, because it was the Lions who had their hands on the football, although unless there was contact before the ball
Major
got
foul,
there.
unnecessary roughness, BC, number 39.
So roughness.
15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So based,
Unnecessary roughness.
yeah, based on where Tasker was. There were three bodies down there.
Yeah, Fenner was one of them. And Tasker's going over the middle. There's Fenner chasing him, number 39. He plays the ball and then plays through to the tackle. That may be one of the worst calls I've seen this year.
Keeps the Cats alive. Banks goes backwards, then forwards. Second down now and 5 yards to go. Brandon Banks utilized a lot here again tonight. Hamilton comes in 9th in the CFL, dead last on second down conversions, but have had success here so far tonight. Clock ticking down into the final minute of the opening quarter. Masoli again, good protection, but this one way over the head of Tasker, and they'll have to bring out their kick unit.
Just in that bubble area as to whether or not they try the field goal here or try and punt the ball into the corner. They are going to attempt the field goal.
Yeah,
long for Castillo is 57 on the year.
57, and he's been 2 for 2 beyond the 50. This won't be at the. This will be inside the 50-yard line. Tasker will hold for Castillo. 47.5-yard line to give the Cats the lead, and Sergio Castillo.
Wow.
Does not. Oh my goodness! Right off the upright.
Plenty of leg, Rod. Just, I mean, he could have made that one. I mean, he could have had the distance another 10 yards back, but just.
And you get nothing. Doink.
Bang off the upright and 0 points. Dead ball. Lions will take over on the 35.
Saw one this season. Don't see too often. Bank in through the goalpost, which would count. Castillo has a chuckle, but
or excuse me, the 25-yard line. Take over.
Yeah,
yep.
I'm sure that June Jones and company do not. No points. Hamilton team that came in early this week. Coming west has been Death Valley for so many Eastern teams. Cats have not won in Vancouver since 2011. Jonathan Jennings, double tight end set. Chris Rainey gets the handoff and is pushed back.
Brian Burnham had just 2 catches the last time these two teams played.
But one of them was a beauty.
but one of them, arguably the catch of the year.
How did he catch this ball?
Just unbelievable. In the corner of the end zone. Defender all over him. One hand against the hip. Secures the contact with the field. Unbelievable catch.
Right up there with Deron Carter. Saskatchewan, there's a first down for Chris Williams. Clock is at zeros here, and that's the first quarter. So the Hamilton Tiger Cats open scoring. Touchdown by Brandon Banks. Jonathan Jennings drives his team down to the goal line and scores himself in a 2-point conference. So a 1-point ball game here tonight in BC Place. Up next. 1 point separating the Cats. Pretty even Steven statistically in that first 15-minute frame. Look at the quarterbacks operating at high efficiency right now. Just 3 incompletions in this ball game so far. And for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, still trying to resurrect their season after the 0-8 start. Now 2-9, and clearly June Jones has made a difference to this team.
Well, he has, and you moved Brandon Banks to that receiver spot, took him off the returns, and he slowly got more involved with the offense. Now it's pawn to king 4. Football's like a chess match sometimes, and he moves Brandon Banks into that slot position, and now he's got 3 or 4 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. But there was an answer to that one by Jonathan Jennings.
Jonathan Jennings, over 5,000 yards last season passing. It's cooled down this season. Trouble protecting the football too, but Brian Burnham catch in the yak yards after. There's a penalty flag that flew as well on that far sideline. Might have gone against BC. That afforded Burnham a little more running room. It is against the Lions. Sends them way back to the 26-yard line. Apologize for the technical difficulties. We lost you for a second. We're back up and running here in BC Place.
We got our Wi-Fi back up.
We got it.
We're good to go.
Got the password? Jennings, 4-man cat rush. Pump and Manny Arsenault. Nick Shortle right there, and Manny getting some help from his bodyguard.
Wally Buono upset with that last one, Rod, that he didn't get a penalty flag on the second hit on Arsenault. He felt that his receiver was down, and Buono was almost 10 yards onto the field. He thought that second hit was unnecessary. Take a look at it here. There's Arsenault right there, and he's going to catch this football. Tackled immediately, and then thought it was too much extra. I think it looked good.
Devon Washington, yeah, chopped him down, and now launching and catching, unable to catch that football, is Chris Williams, who was gone in his hands. There is a penalty flag that was in the backfield just as Jennings threw that one deep. Not sure this would have counted anyway.
Deep post route, and that's the first throw from Jonathan Jennings on a deep ball since he's returned from
Illegal
injury.
block. Hands to the face. BC number 57. The penalties declined. 3rd down.
Well, moot point, but still right in the gloves.
That throw, though, from Jonathan Jennings, the first time I've seen him launch it like he did last year. There was not an incompletion on a deep ball from Jennings last year where he underthrew a receiver. There was no receivers that could outrun his deep ball throws.
Ty Long, deep kick. Corners DeMar Altman. 45, and is rocked right there at the 45-yard line. Lions downfield gunning quickly, and Frederick Chagnon made the special teams tackle. Jeremiah Masoli back in his office.
Well, 13th start for him, but so it's new as a starter for Jeremiah Masoli. He's making the most of his opportunities, 2-1 as a starter this year. But take a look at his road record. I mean, record on the road, 6 starts. He's 5-1. He's got that good touchdown interceptions and averaging over 300 yards passing a game. He has no problem on the road.
Clean ball game so far for both quarterbacks. Masoli banks, straight arm. Picks up half the first down yardage. Anthony Gator there to corral him.
This is a guy that's been on the big stage, University of Oregon Ducks. He played in the Holiday Bowl against Oklahoma State in 2008 and put up big numbers. I mean, he's been on the big stage.
Played in the Rose Bowl at one time as well.
His demeanor, Rod, whether they're up or down, is just a steadying factor and influence on his football team. He is not flustered by the circumstances of the game.
Funny how some of the great ones are like that. Masoli, the ones that have success, this is up for grabs. Tasker couldn't haul that in on second down, and Anthony Gator was in the area.
There's the demeanor I'm talking about. I mean, no real reaction here. He puts it out there where, you know, Luke Tasker has to get his head around quicker on that break and make that catch. And what Masoli just sort of said, well, okay, my guy dropped it, no big deal. We'll regroup, punt the football, and come back out next series and correct it.
Talk to a lot of players. They like that mentality, that Iceman mentality. 2 returners here for the Lions. Down near the 22-yard line is Chris Williams. Jonathan Jennings has put the Lions on the board. Back on the field when we come back. Try to increase that lead here at BC Place. Shaw Road to the Grey Cup continues tomorrow. Week 13 continues. Big one in Toronto in the East. The Alouettes and the Argos at BMO Field, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, available in 4K on TSN 1, 4, and 5. Earlier tonight, Winnipeg over Ottawa, so the Argos a chance. Ball back into first place. Jennings now pulls it back and goes running, and Jonathan Jennings sprints out near the 50, and a huge run for him. Guy who used to do this regularly. Jonathan Jennings scampering for 28.
Massive hole to the right side, and Jennings is going to see it and take off and take, first of all, what he can get. Look at the hole that opens up there. Now he's just got one tackler out there dropping underneath this, and that is defensive lineman Nikita Whitlock. So that's a move that favors Jennings. He bounces outside. Big gain.
Longest scramble of the season for him. Jeremiah Johnson out of the backfield. It's fumbled, and the Cats have it. Richard Leonard pounces on it. And he got some help there from Nikita Whitlock, who was in on the tackle. But Jeremiah Johnson coughs up the football, and the first turnover of the ball game goes to the Cats.
This guy's second in the team in defensive plays with 65, and that's a huge one from Richard Leonard. He rips it out of the hands of Jeremiah Johnson, who does not fumble the ball very often, and then recovers the fumble as well. This is one of the pieces to a defense that is getting better every game since Philip Lawley took over.
Johnson's second fumble of the season. After Jennings had scampered out, caught the big gain, give the ball back, and give it back to Alex Green. Ches Purifoy with the tackle and getting some assistance as well.
You know, they still, on defense, Rod, they need some more big plays. They need to make some interceptions and things like that. You mentioned they only have 5 on the season, but look at the improvement in this defense under Philip Lawley, and they start to chip away. They've net yards allowed. They've improved in that area. Passing yards allowed. Their sacks have gone up. Now they got to make some plays in the back end, and this defense starts to really gel and come together.
Suits, they do force a lot of fumbles, though. That's their 10th fumble recovery of the season. And this play won't get off.
Boy, I like Richard Leonard, though. I mean, you've got to cover
Time count
corner.
violation. Hamilton, number 8. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Play clock had wound down.
You got a cover corner over there that has a nose for the football. Gets his hands on the ball. Leads the league in knockdowns, as I mentioned. Again, that he'll just get better as it goes on, and he understands the angles more and more in the CFL. He's a rookie this year. But Richard Leonard with 11 knockdowns, just one ahead of Javon Johnson. Now, he turned 3 of those into interceptions. He's got 6 on the season, right behind Ed Gainey.
As a fumble, recovering today, and a forced fumble, and there's Shamon Chambers. Already, Shamon Chambers has as many catches tonight as he had all season with the Edmonton Eskimos.
Yeah, Shamon Chambers has always been a guy that could potentially be a 1,000-yard receiver given the ball and the opportunities and the targets. There's no question about that. His issues have been injury. Shamon Chambers has had trouble staying on the field. And if he can stay on the field, they've got a good Canadian receiver. With Andy Fantuz real close to returning, that helps their ratio as well.
Former Laurier Golden Hawk, Shamon Chambers. Read option for Masoli, hands it off to Alex Green in his first CFL game. And with C.J. Gable not playing tonight, Alex Green gets the call. Literally and figuratively this week. Alex Green got the call while he was driving. Said, why not come north to the CFL? Now he resides in the backfield tonight for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 2nd and 5 from the BC 36. Masoli looking, and firing, going up high, and that one misfire again for Tasker. It's been a little high for Luke Tasker tonight. So again, Sergio Castillo returns to the field.
Well, Tasker does a nice job on Purefoy by that outside move and then just sort of getting that separation by 1.5 yards across the middle. Now, Jeremiah Masoli has overthrown a couple there over the middle. He just has to not stride just quite as far. When you overstride, according to Matt Dunnigan, when I've had our conversation, when you overstride, the ball will sail a little bit on you.
Castillo, who hit one upright. This one's close to another. Misses it. Chris Rainey near the back of his end zone. Looks like he's going to dance a little bit and give up the single point. And it's been a struggle for Sergio Castillo, who before tonight only had 2 misses on the season. Already 2 misses tonight. As Glenn mentioned earlier, Andy Fantuz close to returning for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They'd love to have him back. Number 4 all-time Canadian receivers on the career reception list for number 83. With more, let's go down to Dustin Nielsen.
Yeah, guys, things are starting to come together for Andy Fantuz. He has a contract. He had his first full practice on Monday, and he's one step closer to returning and no longer being a self-described liaison between his teammates and the coaching staff. It's a role that he said he enjoyed, but when I pushed him to see if coaching was in his future, he's not too keen on that idea just yet.
Well, Andy Fantuz is a baller. One of the greatest Canadian receivers in recent memory. Jeremiah Johnson stopped there by Simone Lawrence, Damon Washington.
Yeah, you know, Rod, when you look at the return of Andy Fantuz, it really helps the Canadian ratio situation for Hamilton, puts an all-star receiver back in the lineup, another target for Masoli. And, you know, I'm not giving up on Mike Jones. I don't think anyone should, but he was struggling over the last few games.
Jennings goes over the top. That was almost picked by Simone Lawrence again. Well, here's the rub for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. When were the Cats the most successful? And I know Zach Collaros may have been the quarterback, but even with Masoli, is when Luke Tasker and Andy Fantuz and others, Terrence Tolliver, were in the lineup.
Yeah, and they lost Terrence Tolliver right out of camp basically in game 1. So it's been a bit of a juggling act. And again, we just talked about moving Brandon Banks to the receiving corps permanently. And now Fantuz back and the addition of Shamon Chambers.
And Austin, who you saw there, for Lyon, by the way. Big boot by the CFL's leading punter. Altman looking for a crease. 25-yard line on a 58-yard kick from Ty Long past the midway point of the second quarter. Tie ball game here tonight between the Cats, the Lions, and the Tiger Cats on Friday Night Football. At the half with Rod, Jock, Milt, and Hank. Henry Burris in the studio. Professional grade playbook on the basics of running a corner route tonight. And we welcome Hank to our CFL on TSN studio panel tonight. I wonder if he can be staying up that late. He's a morning show guy, you know. It is late back there in the East. Welcome Henry Burris. Alex Green shuffles for a first down.
Yeah, Michael Alway had to leave for 3 plays, and they ran right at that spot. And this is one of the reasons, we talked about those hits early in the game that he got fined for last week. One of the reasons he's got to keep his head up and tackle what he sees, not just launch himself in there, is that he can actually injure himself. Not just the players that he ran into. He ran into a teammate there, again, dropping his head a little bit. You love to see him play fast and aggressive. And it looks like he's okay, but he's got to see what he hits.
Again, Luke Tasker just not in sync tonight with Jeremiah Masoli yet. It's another overthrown football by Masoli. It'll be second down.
Tried to get it out there quickly to Luke Tasker on this one, and sailed that one on a fastball up and outside, but you're right, just a little bit off the mark. Hone that in a little bit and he'll be fine.